Harwich Finance Committee meeting of Tuesday, March 18th. It's 2025 to order. I'll just ask anybody in the audience if they have any intention of recording this live stream or recorded session, if they share that with the chair so we can have a little discussion before we get started. I see none. So we'll move on to that. I'll note that out in Zoom land, we have Finance Committee members Dana DeCosta and Scott Norm. Welcome. And with me here, and I'm just taking notes for a second, in the Griffin room is Bob McCready. Let's make a roster here. Mark Kelleher. And Dan Twerk and myself. Okay, so we do have a quorum. And I don't expect, I think Michelle said she couldn't make it, and Mark said he could not. I did, based on last night's elections meeting, and I would just say lack of progress on some of the topics we need to work on for the warrant. I had scheduled Patrick Oton to be here at 5:45 to talk about his 3 petition articles. I sent him an email and invited him to come as early as 5 o'clock, just so we wouldn't be sitting around waiting if that were necessary. So just so you know that, okay? Judy did not get through the minutes of March 11th, so we'll hold those until the next meeting. So let's get right into it as far as where we are in our votes on the information we have relative to the warrant. And Dana, I'll just ask, I did not get a copy, and I'll solicit other members here, of what I hope was your latest version of the spreadsheet after last week's meeting. Did you send one out?
Yeah, I did send it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Scott, did you get it?
I think the last I have is from March 13th.
Right, me too. Anybody else?
All right.
And
This
I
one
think
is-
I had one dated the 14th at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna kind
Yeah,
of need
that's
Dana
right.
to be the scribe here. Okay,
Yep.
so we're gonna do a couple of cleanups. Last time, we looked at this article related to the HERO Act. So I don't know what article number it is, because nothing's numbered, but it talks about Mass General Law, Chapter 59, Section 5, Clause 22, I and J, Section 23, Property Tax Exemptions, the HERO Act. And Bob, you did a little bit of research on this.
Correct?
Would you share that with us, please?
Yes.
Article 45
uh,
on this sheet.
Right, 45 on the sheet, on my sheet. I guess briefly, what the article does is the state passed a legislation providing that communities could vote to double their current, essentially double plus a cost of living increase to their current exemptions for disabled veterans. This is the article being put forth for the town to vote on that particular component of the HEROES Act. The HEROES Act is lengthy, has many components. This is the one that the town, this is related to the one the town already has in place only, and is for the purpose, as I say, of doubling it. That doubling, I went to the assessor's office and discussed with him, trying to get to an understanding of the $100,000. And the easy version is, I guess, that last year at the old or existing exemption rate, we in fact, the exemption total was $89,000. The based roughly on the number of participants which were at last identified to me when I talked with them as being 136 vets that are at the base $400, and 33 at the base exemption of $1,000. The extension of that comes in roughly at that same $89,000. I think it comes in at 87. So we're in the right kind of ballpark. And if you take that sort of number And then, so you're basically doubling $89,000, which gets you up to the 188 or some such thing, and then there's a cost of living to be attached to it. So asking for $100,000 is right in the ballpark of what's probably the right number. I did not realize until talking with the assessor's office how much the current annual exemption was. But it all makes sense to me at that, having gotten those numbers.
Okay, so let me interject and just say, I believe on the selectmen's score sheet, this is what they call G9. You gotta understand the codes, but G9. And they voted accept and adopt 5-0, just as a reference point. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion
So moved.
to accept and adopt.
To accept and adopt the article as printed.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, Dana, was that you?
Yeah.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded for article, what I'm just gonna call G9, which is the property tax exemptions, the HERO Act, to accept and adopt. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to vote. I'll start with TV land. Scott?
Aye.
Dana?
Aye. Mark
Ann?
Emers is there as well.
Ann? Dan?
Aye.
Okay, all right.
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bob? Chair is an aye. 6-0 is the recorded vote. Okay?
Is Mark
Did you
Ambrose
get
here?
Mark Emers in TV land?
So
Oh, there he is. Ah, he said he wasn't coming. There he is. He's there. All right. Mark, what's
7-0.
your vote? Mark, did you vote on that one?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so it's 7-0. Look at that. Perfect. Thank you. Bear with me for a second. I'm trying to find the other ones we had holds on. Okay, so we have a hold on petition article about accepting funds allocated for Great Sands Lakes sewer extension, and also a petition article, well, let's deal with this one first. It seems to me there are two competing articles on this. One the selectmen are putting forward, and the other is this petition article. Who can find the one the selectmen have?
It's Article 20 on my sheet. It's F17 on the town administrator's rack up. $32 million.
Right.
Okay, but it's, hang
Yeah,
on.
proposed to be that.
Yeah, no, hang on. Okay, you added it from the last one, right? Okay, so it seems to me, if we're going to support this, that we would take the selectmen's motion, because that is the one that I think has been put forward, not only by the wastewater people, but also by the wastewater consultants, as opposed to just randomly saying, let's go apply for some funding. Okay? So this one is Great Sands Lakes wastewater construction, Article 19, right, Dana?
Article 20 on this sheet, on this sheet.
Okay. Let me read
I knew
what I
we
have. Let me read what I
Sorry
have. It
about-
says, see the town to vote to raise and appropriate, transfer from available funds or borrow some money to implement portions of Phase 8 of the Town of Harwich Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan. Is that what you have?
Yes.
Okay, well, a similar version, a previous version was called Article 19. Now you're telling me it's 20.
No, it's 20 on his sheet. It is Article 19 as currently printed.
Okay. So you got that clear?
Yep.
Okay. Would anyone like to put forth a motion?
I'll put forth a motion
What is that motion?
to accept the proposal as written.
You want to accept and adopt, right?
Yes.
That's your motion? All right, Mark is motioning to accept and adopt this article, which is, I'm just calling it Article 19. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right,
Second.
All right, Bob seconded, so. All right, discussion?
Do just one thing.
Go ahead.
When I was at the meeting last night, Mark Drainfield spoke a little bit about this. It's the last portion on the Phase 3. You have a very vocal neighborhood coalition that's pushing for it. You have a lot of ponds that are affected by this. There's also money available that may or may not be available in the future. So, as I listen to the discussion, I believe that this should be approved, because if we don't, and it will come up again, I'm sure, the financing from the state revolving fund or the county revolving fund may not be available. So I think it's a prudent thing to do. I know there were some questions about the expense of this. After this is done, the next phase of the CWP goes over to West Harwich, and we'll probably have a respite of several years because there's no place to send the sewage. The only thing that's going to be done in terms of incurring debt is the buried sewage pipe on Route 28. So I think it's a good thing to do. I think you'll have a lot of neighborhood opposition if we don't pass it, and it will finish off Phase 3. And I do think it will be several years before we have a 20-year time period before to finish the rest of the town, which hasn't even started yet. So we'll have enough time to get our debt calculations in line and then to move on. So I'm in favor of it.
Other comments? I would just say the interesting thing to me is that, we do have a capital planning process, of which we all know, right? And this totally jumps the capital plan. If you remember 2 years ago, this board was chastised for trying to put a wastewater plan in there, or wastewater reservation of a slot in the capital plan, knowing something like this was coming. And now here it is. It's kind of interesting that we've in essence, given up on the capital process. Having said that, just because you pass this and you get the money doesn't mean you need to start it tomorrow.
Correct.
So, as we all know, with this wastewater stuff, sometimes it takes a long time to get to the point where we're actually, digging holes in the water, or holes in the ground. The other thing I will say is, if you remember, when the water commissioners were here, wastewater commissioners before us, a week or two ago, they were pretty adamant that this does nothing for the ponds. The ponds are phosphorus, and this has to do with nitrogen, which has to do with the estuaries and not the ponds. So just point that out. I'm not going to nitpick with the wording of this, but I'll stop there. Anybody else, any comments?
Just a question, was it voted last night?
Yeah. Oh, huh?
Was it voted on?
Didn't I see it?
They're going to bring Mark Drainville back next week.
You're right. Okay. I reckon, well, we have a motion on the floor, accept and adopt for this article. So let's, there's no more discussion. Let's see where that takes us. So we'll put that motion to a vote. Again, it's accept and adopt the Great Sand Lakes wastewater construction, which is now Phase 8 of the Town of Harwich Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan. The amount is $32 million. All those in favor of that motion, Scott?
Aye.
Dana?
No?
Okay. Dan?
Aye.
Hey, Mark?
Aye.
Bob?
No.
And chair is an aye. So the vote is,
How about Mark Amaris?
oh, I'm sorry, Mark Amaras. I keep forgetting about you. It just shows up as M. Mark? Hey, Mark Amaras. Hello?
You're muted.
Did you vote on?
He's muted.
What's your vote, yea or nay?
You're muted.
Yes, I want to hear your vote. We're voting on the Great Sand Lake
Aye.
wastewater construction
Voted
project.
aye.
accept and adopt. What's your vote?
Aye.
Okay, so it is 5 to 2, I'm sorry. It passes. Okay, so Bob McCready and Dana DeCosta are dissenting votes on that. All right? Okay, just in the interest of time, and in case something funny happens, there is an article, Annual Departmental Revolving Funds Authorization. I believe it was not taken up last night, but as you all know, and I sent around and we've talked about many times before, that the Finance Committee is of the opinion and plans to include in the operating budget of the town 204 Sisson Road, okay? So when that happens, the revolving fund for 204 Sisson Road, in my opinion, needs to be cleaned out, the fund sent back to the general fund and a new account, which I have said reads something like 204 Sisson Road Programs and Activity Revolving Account needs to be established with a limit associated with it. And from the numbers I can see, that would be $25,000. Could be $30,000, but something like that. So what I would suggest, just my suggestion based on that we would at this point in time, based on the list that is provided here, just so we go on record with our vote, I would recommend we have a motion for no recommendation pending further information, just to get a vote out there. Anybody else think that's a decent thing to do?
I do.
Would you like to make that motion?
I agree.
Okay, so Bob just made a motion, no recommendation pending further information,
Exactly right.
okay?
Second.
Okay, so Bob moved it. Scott, that was you that seconded, right?
That's right.
All right, thank you. Okay, any discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Mark Amoraz.
Aye.
Scott? Dana?
Aye.
Dana?
Aye.
Dan? Mark?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Chair is an aye, 7-0, thank you. Okay, what other catch-ups do we have we can deal with? We don't have a
Should we do
final,
this?
we don't have a final number on the school budget. Apparently, the town administrator is discussing that with the select board, and soon we'll have a different number next week, or an updated number or something next week. Okay?
A couple of comments?
Yep, go ahead.
And these are, I think, related more to Dana's schedule than anything else. Dana's schedule still has the capital expenditure from water retained earnings on his schedule number 17 as 700,000. We voted 100,000.
You got that, Dana? I think we made that correction last week, but it probably didn't filter down, right?
I think so, exactly right.
Yeah, I think, you got it? Dana, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
That'd be Article 8.
No, it's not the sewer budget. This is out of the capital water retained earnings number 1. It's what it says on your sheet.
Oh,
And I don't have the
Okay,
right
that's-
number. It used to be 14, but I don't know how you shuffled it around.
I now have it as 17, Dana.
okay, yeah, I'll make that 100.
An additional comment, we voted the capital plan, but there is an item on the capital plan that is not then on the article list. Which is, so I guess it's being skipped, the road maintenance, the $700,000 annual road maintenance item is not actually included in any of the articles. from what I can tell, at this point, unless it comes up out of the blue.
Wasn't it, I'm not 100% sure, but I thought it was a part of that 3,876 for free cash for capital items funded out of free cash?
It is not part of that listing,
Okay, all right.
from what I can tell.
All right, so let's do this on that one. Mark, you're going to be at Monday's Selectmen's meeting?
I will.
Would you make a note to ask that question?
On
With
the,
the annual $700,000 allocation for roads?
yeah, we may have a capital outlay committee meeting still, so I'll ask that. That is normally a capital outlay item?
Yeah.
Recent years,
Yep.
anyway, yes. And a third comment, and this is, I think, strictly on the schedule, is that we did not vote on the demolition delay.
We did not, you're right.
And this is currently identified as being exception adopted.
Okay,
Okay?
yep,
That might have just been an error on my part.
yep, okay, all right.
Would
So
that
we
be
did
under
not.
governance?
All right, so before we get off the topic of the Great Sand Lakes, there's a petition article to, in essence, do the same thing that we just voted to accept and adopt, okay? I would suggest that we vote indefinite postponement on the petition article because the selectmen's article already covered it. So could I have a motion to that effect?
So moved. I move that we, let's see, we indefinitely postpone the petition article except funds allocated for Great Sand Lake Sewer Extension.
A second? All right, Dan seconded. All right, discussion? Again, at this point, it's redundant because the selectmen included the same thing. Okay? All right, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Again, it's to indefinitely postpone this article. Mark Amoraz?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Dana?
Aye.
Dan? Aye. Mark?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Chair is an aye, 7-0, thank you. You got that, Dana?
Yep.
Okay. All right, the demolition bylaw. You say we didn't vote that one?
We did not, from my notes.
Okay, so I think we held that because there was one change in that, and that is changing 12 months to 18 months as far as the delay period, notification period, if you will. We had some discussion, I know, Dana, you and I were at last week's meeting saying, hey, that the 12 months is enough, and I know you were making a point about the parties can get together. They got plenty of time to do that and reach an agreement with each other. And that's where we kind of left it at that point. So I would entertain a motion on that particular article if anybody's so inclined.
If there's no positive motion, I'd make one to indefinitely postpone.
I'll second that one.
Okay, on the petition article, for changing the time for the demolition delay from 12 months to 18 months, we have a motion to indefinitely postpone. Dana made it, and there is a second.
Who
Okay.
was the second?
Bob,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Hang on, I'm making a note. So the motion is to indefinitely postpone. Dana made the motion. Bob seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Dan? Aye. Mark?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Chair is an aye. Dana?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Mark Amoraz?
Aye.
All right, indefinitely postponed, 7-0. Do you have that recorded?
Yep.
Okay. What's your next pleasure? Okay, you might as well, let's yak about this one for a few minutes. And I will notice that Patrick is here, and I told him we could listen to him or hear from him at 5 o'clock, so we'll try to hold to that. There is a petition article, rescind Article 2 from the 2022 special town meeting. That seeks to walk back the vote that was taken at town meeting, basically to dispose of the First Baptist Church in West Harwich. Okay. Just trying to find, who's got what the selectmen did to
It's
this?
P4, if that helps you. Petition articles. This is by Lou
Oh,
O'Connor.
okay, okay, just so you know, on this article, according to what I have, the selectmen were 3-2 not to support this.
That's what I
They
have.
have a funny way of writing these things up this year.
I know.
You have somebody new.
Huh?
You have somebody new doing
Oh, I know, but it's a funny way of doing it.
Yes, we have a 2-5 insert.
3-2 not to support it, so if that were an indefinite postponement, it would have been a 3-2 vote. That's what I'm trying to point out to you. That's the language we're used to using, so.
Yep.
That should not affect or influence our decision, but what would you like to do? Is there a positive motion? Somebody want to definitely postpone?
I'll move to indefinitely postpone.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Who seconded it? Oh, Dan, okay. Okay, moved and seconded, the article, petition article, rescind Article 2 from the 2022 special town meeting. The motion is to indefinitely postpone. Discussion? I think this one's going to play out with the legal team, quite frankly. And, you know, there's a vendor who was so-called, you know, been negotiated with or, you know, awarded some right to start dealing with this property. I think it's going to end up, you know, in some kind of a legal thing, and I don't think this particular article will do anything, quite frankly, if it is up or supported, so. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Mark Amoraz?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Dana?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Chair, aye. 7-0 to indefinitely postpone. Okay, it's just about 5 o'clock. Patrick's here. Doesn't have his dog, but he's here. Huh? Yeah, I'm just pointing out for levity, you know.
Well, at least someone has humor.
Don't take it any way or any other way, but, so Patrick is here. He has 3 petition articles. And Patrick, I'll just tell you in the interest of time that last week, the Finance Committee on split votes supported the pesticide and the fertilizer article. So you probably don't need to talk, I mean, you can if you want, but
All right, all right.
we voted that. Now, we could reconsider it. If you talk us out of it, we can vote it down, whatever. But
Not gonna do that.
you got 2 wins there, so.
Yeah, let's keep it
And
there.
the tree one was up in the air.
All right, let's,
So you may want to focus on the tree one.
we'll just focus
For our
on, we'll
benefit.
keep it short and
Yep,
just
yep.
focus on the tree. So what I gave you is sort of my summary of all 3 petitions. You know, and basically, I'm coming from an environmental perspective, you know. What is the economic basis of Cape Cod? What about our vacation-based economy? What about our seashore, our ponds, our woodlands? Why do we live here, right? What about this very unique place, Cape Cod? There's absolutely no other place in the world like Cape Cod, right? What about this? Well, the best thing you can do for all of this is to do nothing. Do nothing at all and start doing something to start doing nothing. Does that make sense to you? And save Cape Cod. So there's 3 easy steps. you've already addressed the first one, don't spread pesticides. You address the next one, don't use fertilizers. Those are good do-nothings. The third one is don't cut trees. So let's just talk about trees. So there is a petition before you for the protection of trees. Trees are the root of all life, providing us with oxygen, shade, water runoff, control, and they provide critically needed aesthetic and emotional benefits that we need in our daily life, okay? Emotional and aesthetic benefits that we need in our life. Oak trees are a keystone species supporting a vast array of life, including 400 species of insects, moths, butterflies, caterpillars, which are all vital food sources for our birds, as well as their acorns, which are food for numerous animals. Harwich is zoned rural. Let's keep it rural and try to stop making here look like there. So what is the tree bylaw? It is simply a bylaw to prohibit to limit the clear cutting of lots that are under construction. The setback area around every lot is the protected area. Trees within that setback area are protected trees if they're greater than 6 inches in diameter. You have the option. You can leave that 6-inch diameter or greater tree there. If you decide to cut it, 2 options. You can either replace it with the equivalent diameter of smaller trees, or you can pay into a tree preservation fund, which the town holds. So the effort is during construction, and only during construction, the trees on the setback perimeters in the tree yard are protected trees. Let's keep the trees around the perimeter of our yard. It provides shade, provides nutrients, it provides isolation from your neighbors. So that's what the tree bylaw is. I copied it from Mashpee. Mashpee passed it a year ago. I brought it here a year ago. It didn't pass here, so I'm bringing it again and asking for your support for this particular bylaw. All right. May I answer any questions?
So just to be clear, is the wording of this any different than what was in last year? It's exactly the same. Okay. So someone asked me the other day, they have trees around their house.
Yep.
Everybody does, right? They put in a solar system on their roof, right? The company that does it gives them a projection as to, how many kilowatts they're going to produce, how many kilowatt hours they're going to generate every year, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that uncommon, apparently, according to the solar people, that after the installation, you may find out that there are a couple of trees that have an issue. They shade,
Yep.
right? And so in order to maximize their investment, they want to go
Yeah,
cut it.
right.
Is there anything in this bylaw that prevents them from doing
No.
that in any way, shape, or form?
No. There's no construction happening. The construction is happening on a roof, so no.
So the construction, to be clear, the construction you're talking about is only new construction.
If you're putting in a pool, if you're adding a garage, if you, whatever, then it applies. Or if you're building a new lot, yes, but not.
So it's only if you're changing the footprint?
Yes.
Is that the way to say it, I
Yes.
think? So if someone decided they want to put in a ground array of solar,
As long as it's not in the setback areas. All right?
yeah, I think you're going to, well, I'm just
That's a
speculating.
good question. It's a good
I'm
question.
just guessing there's going to be something there, because ground is a lot worse with the trees, just because you don't have any elevation, to speak with. So I don't, I'm just bringing that up.
No, it's a good question. So a property owner can do whatever they want with their trees. If I'm living in my house for 30 years and I want to clear all the land, go right ahead. There's no stopping. If there's a tree that's endangering your house or neighbors, it can be cut. If it's a diseased tree, it can be cut. This is addressing construction sites.
Okay, so it's mainly, just to be frank about it, it's mainly about the company coming in, they buy a tract of land, and I'm just making this up, they decide they can fit 6 houses on it, building some kind of a road or cul-de-sac or something. And this bylaw would govern what they can do
Correct.
as far as preparing that site to put a house on it,
Right.
for instance.
Yeah, and then if you decide to cut trees, If they're on the setback perimeter, they're greater than 6 inches diameter, you have two options. Well, you have three. Leave it. You decide to cut it, either you pay into a tree preservation fund that the town maintains, or you plant the equivalent diameter trees someplace in the yard.
So if I want to cut down a 6-inch tree, and I pay into the fund, what's a 6-inch tree cost? What's the penalty?
Yeah,
for-
a tree warden determines that.
Well, I would say the tree warden can't set fees. They would have to be set by the Board of Selectmen, I assume. And I don't know, what did Mashpee do with that, do you know?
I don't, no.
Okay, it'd be good if you could find
Okay.
that out for town meeting. I mean, people
No,
are
no,
gonna
this is a good question, right,
people are gonna ask that kind of question, you know?
right.
Because if the impact is I paid $20 and it doesn't stop me from doing anything,
Let
then you
me,
gotta, I don't know the answer.
I think it's I think the costs are in here. I may be misspeaking here.
Okay, well, you can dig it out for town meeting, you know,
I'm pretty sure it's in here. Yeah. The costs.
okay, well, he's looking, Dan, what do you have?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, is there a need to include a waiver provision? If there's reason to consider waivers from this requirement?
If we can be specific, I'm sure it can be added. You know, again, this is a bylaw that isn't cast in stone. Let's get it in place and make amendments or changes as needed.
If there was some condition that would preclude the homeowner from eliminating trees or a tree, is there a waiver provision? Or should we consider having a waiver provision?
How would that be stated?
I don't know.
Yeah, help me understand which specifically you mean by the waiver.
What are you waiving?
The homeowner was precluded from eliminating trees on his or her land. Does this provision cover something like that?
So now I'm backing up one step and asking, what do you mean by precluded? I'm not,
Prevented.
well, you're not prevented,
He's saying you can pay to take down a tree, that's what I heard.
right? And I think those costs are in here. I should have,
Okay, that's okay, but I think, Dan, what I heard was, no matter what the tree is, if it's more than 6 inches, but wherever it is and whatever kind it is, that if you pay whatever that fee is,
Okay.
it can be
so-
cut down, right?
Yep.
So-
and/or replace the equivalent of half the diameter.
Yeah, no,
But-
I get it.
Yeah,
But that also says that the developer could do the same thing, right?
right. No, the costs,
I'm finding a hard time grasping because I don't have the written.
Yeah,
written
okay.
one, but-
Okay.
So my understanding is that this does not preclude that people from cutting trees.
and again, if you're not building, you can do whatever you want. You want to clear cut your lawn, go right ahead.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody on TV land have a question, or?
Yeah, I have a
Wait a
question.
minute, wait, Dana has his hand up first. Dana, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to vote against this for the same reason I did last year. If we were looking to, if the question was about all public trees, I could understand the question, public trees on Harwich land. But when they start talking about trees on homeowner land and governing those, I see that as a taking myself. And I can cut it down today without paying a fee, but I cut it down tomorrow, I have to pay a fee into this fund. I just see it as going after private trees, and I'm against it.
Okay, Scott?
May I-
Oh, wait a minute, let Patrick respond, hang on.
Yeah, so again, if you're not building, you can do whatever you want with the trees in your yard. And let me add, there's a paragraph in my written comments that I'll read to you. Yes, you are a private citizen. Yes, you own your private property. Yes, you have the right to do whatever you want. Except Harwich has a code of conduct, 300-plus pages long, along with a mass state codes of conduct, along with federal codes of conduct, hundreds of pages long. Yes, you are a private citizen, but you also live in a society please do what is best for Harwich.
Okay, now Scott.
So, Patrick, here's a scenario. I own property. I want to build a garage next to my house, a new structure. What is this setback area that determines whether or not taking down trees to build that garage results in either the fine or the replacement responsibility?
Yeah, so the setback areas are defined in our codes. So I think it's typically 20 feet in the front, 10 feet in the back, 15 feet on the side. And actually, you can't build in those setback areas anyways, can you? Unless you
So
get
cutting-
away.
So cutting down trees inside of that setback area, closer to the center of the property, does not trigger this
Correct.
bylaw.
It's only the
Okay,
setback.
thanks.
Yeah, only the setback areas.
Okay.
So you're really creating a buffer zone around the property, defined by
Yeah.
the code setback areas.
Okay, other questions? Okay, thanks.
Good, no,
All right, thank you very much.
thank you for the time to
We'll see you at town meeting.
sit with you.
All right,
Will you
thanks.
take a vote now?
We'll do it. We got other stuff we got to do.
So you just had me here for the moment. All
We
right.
wanted to get the information from you so we could ask you a
Gotcha.
question.
All right. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you,
Have a
Patrick.
good night, yep. Okay, there is an article about eliminating the golf revolving fund that the Board of Selectmen voted 5-0. I think that's, it used to be called 60 on your list, Dana, on the previous version,
Yeah, it's now 48 on Dana's list.
48. You see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody know what it is on the spreadsheet?
It is
G8.
G8.
Okay, yeah,
You got it?
I got it.
And we voted it.
Yeah, we voted it.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm telling you what the selectmen did, so,
Oh,
I have it blank. What was the vote on it?
I have 8 zip.
Okay.
yeah.
8-0.
Okay, what else can we deal with tonight?
The sub-
I have 9 other articles that haven't been voted yet.
Okay, but you gotta tell us what they are in some kind of sequence.
Okay, we'll start at the top. We have the town operating budget. I don't know if we want to make no recommendation on that one like we did on the other article.
We can do that, and then we can revisit it after the selectmen do whatever they're gonna do, and we'll, I mean, the kicker there is, number one, are they gonna do anything in general, but more specifically, they're gonna do 204 System Road, so.
Right, yeah. So I would move indefinite postponement, I mean, not indefinite, I would move no recommendation pending further information on Article 4, the town operating budget.
I'll second that.
Yeah,
Hang on a
I
second.
would just add, may I add, as part of the discussion, that I haven't seen, will we see a sources and uses summary along with the town operating budget, whatever that appendix is be?
All right,
before we have to vote on it?
Scott, procedurally, let's get the motion on the table, and then we'll have discussion, okay? So we have a motion, no, on town operating budget, no recommendation pending further information. Okay, discussion. And by the
Is
way,
there a
it's been moved
second?
and seconded, so,
Bob seconded.
Correct.
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
yeah, Bob seconded. All right, Scott.
I'm just curious, I haven't seen this before, obviously, but do we get updated versions of all the financial summaries that we've been seeing along the way here once that budget is finalized, along with the town, the school budget, et cetera? Just hope so.
That's my mission, that's my continuing mission, which has been unsuccessful to get an update lately, but I will be pursuing that tomorrow.
Plus, when they put the motions out, that has all the specific, how much is taxes, how much is receipts, how much is other funds.
Okay,
where all
so
the
Dana,
different
just
sources
so,
are.
and I don't know if you're on or not, but we are next Tuesday At 2 o'clock, I believe, having the motions meeting, which is kind of like fast and furious because
Yeah,
there's so many things up in the air. So I'm sure that's going to be a slugfest for a while. So, and that
Yep.
will be myself, the moderator, chairman of the
Town
board of
administrator.
selectmen, town administrator, and the finance director, I believe, and town council. So I will have out of that meeting, and if we end up meeting some night next week, I should have those motions, if you will, with the appropriate funding sources. And so we may have to go back and clean up some things. Okay?
yep.
So right now, the
I'd
motion,
definitely like a copy of that.
okay, the motion on Article, historically Article 4, town operating budget, is no recommendation pending further information. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we're going to put it to a vote. Mark Amores.
I'm going to say aye here, but I need to hop off after this vote.
Okay, well, you can say aye and then hop off, it's okay. Scott?
Aye.
Aye.
Dana?
Aye.
Dan is an aye. Mark?
Aye.
Bob? Chair is an aye, 7-0, thank you. Okay, Dana, what do you got next?
Right below it is the Monomoy Regional School budget. Again, we don't have those figures yet. We're gonna get them at some point, but until then, we can make no recommendation on that one as well, I think.
That a motion?
I'll make that a motion. I move no recommendation pending further information.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Discussion? Same rationale as the budget one, so hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Scott?
Aye.
Mark? Amores? Oh, he left. Dana?
Aye.
Dan? Mark?
Aye.
Aye.
Bob? Chair is an aye. So now we're 6-0, and the chair notes that Mark Amores left the meeting at 5:16, basically. Okay, we did the tech school budget. Dana, what do you got next?
They inserted a new article, at least in anything I've seen before, which has the middle school project, $9,007,030 to be debt. And that, they have it as his F6, I believe, some F8. It's just a new article that was added to the warrant.
F6 is called wastewater department
Yeah, it's
budget.
F8.
F8.
F8
I'm
is the
sorry.
Monomoy Regional.
Small print.
Yeah, okay, middle school project.
Yep. Could I
We haven't heard a lot about that.
Hang on a sec, could I just ask Mark Kelleher, who's a member of the building committee, right?
Yes.
To give us an update on where they are with that as far as numbers go?
The number was on last night's, I think the total project is approximately 9 million. I forget what it is coming to Harwich. If I could, Mr. Chair, just a comment on it. At last night's meeting, there was a little reluctance to put it on the warrant. But as a sign of good faith, my feeling is that we should put it on the warrant. And at least that's a good gesture to our Chatham partners in this, and put it out, get a sense of the votes from the people in the town. My own personal feeling is that I would not vote for it, but next year we have an additional roofing project to go with it, and we'll have a whole year to try and get Chatham to go along with a 50% sharing. So I don't have the information for me in terms of the money, but I think we should get it on the warrant, and you may choose not to vote for it, but.
Okay, it's not, I'll just point out, it's not our decision whether something's in the warrant or not. It's the
Okay.
purview of the Board of Selectmen. So in this case, I would hold this until the selectmen decide they're gonna put it on the warrant, and then we'll take a position. Is that okay? Everybody shaking their head?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let me just follow up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
The information that was distributed, I guess in the packet,
Yep.
identifies that the cost is currently estimated at $11,507,030.
Wow.
and the $2.5 million had been approved previously by the town. So this is to increase the $2.5 million up to $11.5 million,
Just a little bit of an increase,
just a little bit.
like
correct.
400%,
Something like that,
450%.
correct.
Okay, so let's hold that until the selectmen figure out what they're gonna do with it, okay? All right, what do you got next, Dana?
The transfer of funds for housing, it's F11 on the selectmen's rack-up. It's 36 on my list, $1.5 million. We haven't taken a position on that one yet.
Okay, and I can tell you from the list I had, the selectmen approved this 3-2. You read it the same way, Mark?
Yes, I have the actual vote here, 3-2.
Okay, yeah, it looks like on the sheet, the selectmen approved this, basically accept and adopt, 3-2. So someone want to make a motion on that?
I'll make a
Just to
motion,
put one out there, I'll
Wait,
move to accept and adopt.
Wait a minute, somebody's going to make a motion. Who said that?
I'll make a motion to accept and adopt.
Okay. Mark Kelleher made a motion to accept and adopt.
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Dan. Discussion?
I was at the meeting where Larry Ballantyne had made the case for this. This is similar to other affordable housing trust things. This merely puts money in that fund so that if a property becomes available, it's available so they can purchase it. The money won't go anywhere, but it does give them the freedom to act quickly when properties become available. I think somebody mentioned at a meeting that there may be 2 potential properties coming up at some point in time. And this merely gives them the freedom to act, so.
Well, until you have to execute. Right? The $1.5 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have to come back to town meeting, or no?
No, the Affordable Housing Trust doesn't have to come back.
Okay.
Didn't we have that happen here on CPC?
Well, it's sort of the same idea. This is an article that really is analogous to what CPC, to the request that the Housing Trust does of CPC every year for the $500,000 or whatever. It's sort of the same idea, just to keep funding the pool.
So what they're saying is, just to be clear, the money exists in the Special Purpose Stabilization Fund. They're seeking authorization to transfer it to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
That's my understanding.
Yep. And the amount is $1.5 million. And there is a motion to accept and adopt. Any further discussion on that?
Yeah, Mr.
Go
Chair,
ahead, Dana.
this is a separate fund from our usual stabilization fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
It's still your, wait, Dan, it's still your money, though. Remember that. So, yeah. go
I
ahead, Scott.
understand.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, is the source of this fund the property tax surcharge, and it could only be spent on affordable housing?
No, it is not community preservation funds, if that's what you mean.
Okay. So what is the source of that $1.5 million?
It's a transfer from an existing fund.
But could it be used for general purposes is my question.
I'm not
To those
sure where the
funds.
Housing Stabilization Fund gets its money.
Bob's cogitating that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the Affordable Housing Fund gets its money.
So you want, do you
Does that
want,
have anything to do with the what do you call it, at the dump there,
Oh, the
solar panel?
Yeah.
Yes, it may, or the cell towers, it may have to do with that too, I'm not sure.
All right.
all right, so the motion to accept and adopt, is a transfer, $1.5 million. Any further discussion? If you're edgy about it, we could ask Bob to investigate the source of funding and bring it back if you want to. Or do you want to vote it now? What's your?
I would abstain now.
Go ahead, Scott.
I would abstain now. I
Okay.
prefer to have more information.
Yeah,
Sorry
Mark.
if I should have been able to research this on my own.
I understand. Well, let's try it. We have an accept and adopt, so let's try it. We'll put it to a vote. Dana?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Scott, you're abstaining.
Correct.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bob?
No,
And chair is a no. So, okay. So the motion, the accept and adopt fails 2-4. Now, could I have a motion? My suggestion is we have a motion to, no recommendation pending further information.
Let's just reconsider it. Move to reconsider that article, which is Article F11 on the Town Administrator's rack-up, $1.5 million for transfer of funds.
All right,
from
move
housing.
to reconsider, even though it failed, but it's okay. All right, moved and seconded to reconsider. All's in favor? Dana?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Bob? Chair. 7-0 to reconsider. Dana, do you have a motion?
That way it's not in the IPP automatic kind of situation. I move that we make no recommendation pending further information.
I'll
Good.
second that.
Okay. I'm just making a note. All right, discussion. The motion is no recommendation pending further information, which in essence would be if, well, we would ask you to investigate in the next couple days where the source of funding comes for this.
Yep.
Okay. All right, any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Dana?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Dan? Mark?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair. 6-0.
Mr. Chair,
Okay.
question?
Yep.
When I put this into Natasha, do I put the vote 6-0, no recommendation pending further information?
Use the terminology,
Yeah.
I have the Dana.
no recommendation pending further information, and usually it's coded NRPFI. She might not know what that means, but it's, you can write that out for her.
Yeah.
You have the paragraph that we wrote up, right?
You have all the abbreviations that, I have that. I don't have. the-
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I know what you mean. I can give her that, and so that answers my question.
And then
Yeah.
next week, if we have new information, we'll, reconsider this and move forward with it, so, okay? All right, what's the next one you got, Dana?
It's G11 on the town administrator's list. It's accept Mass General Law statute on seasonal community design.
That's not,
I have it as-
that's not in their list.
Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
Yeah,
I think last night that the board decided to just take it off the warrant.
yeah, it doesn't show up in their list, Dana.
okay, I'll take it off.
Yeah,
That's easy enough to do.
okay, what do you got next?
Next is the one, right, adopt the local comprehensive plan, G1.
I don't see G1 on the list either. I thought I read somewhere that's gonna be postponed. Was that a discussion last night?
I think the hope is they're going to come in next week and hopefully trying to finish it off. So I think it's going to be up for a vote for next Monday.
Okay, it's not on their list at the moment, and that's under the G section, governance total, so unless it's in the warrant, I don't think we should touch it at this moment.
Yeah, just hold it. I'll mark that as a hold.
Yep. What do you got?
We have the Amend bylaws, chapter 140, G3.
G3, amend general bylaws, chapter 140. Selectmen haven't done anything with it. You have something you want to do with it?
I don't,
No,
Mr. Chair, if I remember correctly, I think that both that and G4 are maybe shelved for this warrant thing.
Okay, so that and G4, let's hold off on, okay?
yeah,
All
we'll
right,
hold
what do
them
you got-
both.
What do you got next?
Two last things. One is the tree bylaw, if you want to do something with that.
Well, I thought we voted the tree bylaw last
We
week.
voted, yeah, that one's indefinitely postponed, 7-0. We're not changing our spot on that one.
I'm fine with where we are, unless somebody
Me
else
too.
wants to reconsider.
Okay, and the last one, I haven't seen it on the selectmen's rack-up anywhere, but we did vote to promote the town of Harwich, which is usually a customary article, $50,000. It's usually by petition, but it's also been customary. I haven't seen it on any rack-up anywhere from the last 60 that the town administrator listed, and anything that we have as far as, but it seems to me at one point the selectmen voted it in, so I don't know anything about that article at this point.
It's
It's
listed
not
your-
on any list.
Yeah, it's listed on your sheet as a petition article, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But I moved it down to the bottom because I just can't find it anywhere on the 60 that the town administrator listed, nor it is on the listing of the articles in the warrant at this point. I just don't know where it is right now. So we want to just, I think, keep our eye on that one and find out if we can, where it is, what it is,
Yeah,
what's going on.
I understand. Okay,
There is one other blank.
what is that?
Number 47 on your list, Dana, South Street, Main Street, Sisson Road, safe routes.
Safe school,
schools.
yeah, $200,000. Sorry, I missed that one.
So that looks like is it the state that's kicking in that money, except for the 200,000?
Yes.
If I remember that correctly?
And at this point, we have the room in the free cash, but I don't know what other designs he has.
Well, we can vote it that way and see what comes out of it, right?
The select board voted 4-0 to accept it last night.
What's their funding source?
It's not on their rack up here. It's called G5.
Yeah.
Not, the thing Natasha sent us, it doesn't have it on there.
The new one does. No, G5?
Yeah, G5.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. G5. Yep, you're right. Yeah,
Gee whiz.
I agree.
Huh? They didn't vote it, right?
They haven't voted,
Or it's not recorded?
not as of.
Well, that's okay, we can still move forward if you want. Do you have a motion?
Sure, I move we accept and adopt $200,000 from free cash for this purpose to support the state contribution, which is substantial.
Is there a second?
Second here.
Second.
Okay, Mark Keller seconded it. Okay, moved and seconded, approved $200,000 for the South Street, Main Street, and Sisson Road Safe Routes to School project from free cash. Discussion? Dana's right, it's a good way to leverage somebody else's money. Bob?
Just to clarify, I guess, for anyone, that the 200,000 has to do with rights-of-way taking. It has nothing to do with the actual construction of the project itself. It has to do with an estimate of what it's going to take take the rights-of-way involved.
And that's specified in the article.
And
if
that's
I remember.
specified in the article wording, yes.
Okay. All right, again, the motion is to accept and adopt $200,000 from free cash. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Dana?
Aye?
Scott?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark Keller? Bob?
No,
Chair is an aye. So it's 6, 2,
5-1?
5-1, yep. And you got Bob as the dissenter, right?
Correct.
You're keeping track of
Yeah.
these, right? All right. Okay. I'm just making a note. Okay, do we catch them all?
I think so.
Yeah, that kind of gives us 4 no recommendations and 3 holds.
Okay. And I think, you know, the action's gonna be on the 2 budgets, the school budget and the town budget, and then we'll move forward from there. Obviously, those are the big ones, right? So, the selectmen meet on Monday. Hopefully, they will get this finalized, at least as far as they go, on Monday. Okay? So we're gonna need to have a meeting next week. I cannot do Wednesday evening, and I don't know what anybody else's schedule looks like, so. And so just so you know, Tuesday would be the 25th, Wednesday the 26th, Thursday the 27th, Friday the 28th. So assuming the selectmen do their stuff on the 24th, maybe sometime on the 25th, the documentation would be put together so we can get a warrant, or at least close to it. The afternoon of the 25th is the motion meeting, which that'll be interesting, because they'll have to have the warrant done by then. So what's your pleasure? In my schedule, we could either do Tuesday night or Thursday night, whatever works for most people.
Are we gonna know enough?
Man, one at a time. Scott?
Meaning 25th or 27th, right?
Yeah, either one. Do you have a preference?
No, I can do both.
Dana?
I can do both, I just don't know if we'll know enough Tuesday, but I can do both.
Yeah, I mean, I think the preference would be to do it Thursday, just because it gives more time to scramble around, you know? So, Dan, what's your schedule look like?
Either day works fine.
Okay, Mark?
I was gonna go to a meeting up for the Association of Town Finance Committees on the 27th, but I could cancel that, whatever works for the majority. And we have to check on room availability, too.
Yeah, okay, Bob, what's your?
I have a conflict on Thursday, but Tuesday I'm good.
Okay, so we had 2 people with conflicts on Thursday. You wanted,
So let's have a Tuesday.
let's try Tuesday, we'll see where it takes us, and then if we have to, the only trouble is posting.
We can have an emergency meeting.
Yeah, I understand that. So why don't we do Tuesday?
We could post for Thursday and cancel it.
Yeah, I know, Tuesday the 25th.
What time?
Hang on a second. I think it's gonna depend on when a room is available.
Yeah, do you have a key to the
I don't
selectmen's
think it
office?
opens the selectmen's office.
Okay, no, I couldn't get in there to look at it.
I would aim for a 6 o'clock,
Yep, and I'll get back to you if.
and let's
there's,
find out what works or doesn't. And then you might just look at Thursday as a possibility, March 27th. Again, I would say 6 o'clock as an alternate, and/or post them both, and we'll cancel one.
Okay, what's today? Today is Tuesday, so we have enough time to get the agenda in, so.
Yeah, once you get a room, the agenda basically is gonna be the agenda we have for tonight. I mean, you know, because that's what we're doing, reviewing the budget and warrant articles, right?
Yeah,
So if you can you figure it out tomorrow, Mark?
yeah, I'll get up here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take these votes tonight and get them up to Natasha and proof them. Mr. Chair, I just have one other question.
Yep.
On P8, amend Chapter 125, delete Articles 2. This is Tom Birch's article. Did we vote on that? I have a blank on that. Dana?
I thought we did.
I voted, we have it 6-2, indefinite postpone.
Hey, what are we talking about?
That's the one about bring back plastic bottles.
Right.
I think Dana and I voted against it, and everybody else voted to keep it.
Okay.
a no vote keeps what we have.
Right. It's kind of worded in a strange way, but
Yeah, yeah.
So the 6-2 vote is to indefinitely postpone?
Yes.
Right, the article was to take away the actions of previous town meetings. If we don't take them away, then everything stands the way it is. So a no vote means that we support the way everything is now.
so in other words, the petition is trying to say rescind the plastic bottle ban.
Correct.
And this board voted not to rescind the
Okay.
plastic bottle ban. What'd you say, 5-2, 6-2, whatever it was? 6-2. So if I'm correct in my memory, Dana and I voted to bring back plastic bottles, and everybody else wanted to keep the bottles somewhere else. How's that?
Yeah.
Got it?
And how did the selectmen vote on that one? 3-2 not to support, so they don't support it either. Well, they don't support that article.
4-0 to
This says
support.
3-2. Article 2 of the 2022 special town meeting? No.
Oh, no,
No, wait a minute.
it's P8,
Oh, Birch, okay, P8, I'm sorry.
401 to support it.
Support it. So what they're saying is, so the selectmen are saying, bring back the plastic bottles. That's what the selectmen are saying.
And we're saying,
What this
Keep it
board's
as is.
saying is, don't bring back the plastic bottles.
I'm going to try and make it clear for Natasha, but I'll work on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I hope you can't make it clear and we end up, no, I'm teasing.
You could,
All right, so Dana, I have a request. Wait a minute, hang on.
Yes,
When do you think you'll have this sheet updated,
later tonight.
this thing?
Yeah.
Would you send it around to everybody and
Yeah.
ask that when everybody gets it, that they reply to you that they got it? Because I didn't
Sure.
get the last one, and I think other people did.
All right.
So just ask for, simple reply, yeah, I got it, or whatever. Okay?
Okay.
Just so we
Twice.
make sure everybody has it. Scott?
Looking at the sheet with the yellow highlighting, is there an error for P6, hire a tree warden in our column, where it says 2.5 and then it says support? Shouldn't it say not support?
I think that is an error, yes. I noticed the same thing, Scott.
What is this?
P6.
What is P6?
P6
Okay,
is
so I
tree
have
warden.
I have had two chastising emails to Natasha making it very clear, Mark saw them, I believe, that we do not support the tree warden. She told me
Right.
that things were getting too fast and furious and she got it backwards, so she assured me she will correct that. Okay? Unless you want to be the tree warden, I don't know, maybe.
Patrick does.
I know, well, whatever. Okay, any other business? So Dana's gonna issue the latest update. You should all get it by sometime tomorrow, if not sooner. Mark's gonna check out meeting availability, room availability for next week. It'll either be Tuesday and/or Thursday. And I will know a hell of a lot more once I come out of the motions meeting on Tuesday, but we'll see where that takes us. Okay? Any other business to come before us tonight?
Question,
Yep.
just a point of clarification. Earlier, when we were talking about the Gulf revolving fund and doing away with revolving fund.
You mean for 204?
Golf.
No.
Oh, golf, I'm sorry. Yep.
Was that voted by the Board of Selectmen that they vote to eliminate it, or is that still pending?
Amend general bylaw, chat, this is G8. Delete the golf enterprise fund. 5-0 indefinite postponement, this one reads. Okay?
If that gets eliminated, does that mean that the Gulf revenues would go directly into the general fund?
No,
Now, there was some wording on that in the article.
Or another revolving fund being set up?
it goes into they had two funds set up, and one was set up erroneously, and this just fixes that. So they would have one fund and it'll be correct now.
They're doing away with
Okay. All right,
it. So it's still outside the general plan.
yep.
So do I add indefinite postponement to the, or is it just 8-0 to, to accept that?
Becca, on that particular item?
Yeah, we voted 8-0, but then I just heard the term indefinite postpone.
That wasn't, they voted 5-0 to support the article.
And so then, therefore, we voted 8-0 to support the article.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Well, okay, but in the rack-up they have, well, yeah, they have, just to be clear, they have under the column, Finance Committee support votes. This is an odd way of doing this. It says that we voted indefinitely postpone. That's what it says on her list.
That's the goal.
What do you have?
Is that the one you got wrong?
Dana, what do you have on that one? What's your?
Which, I
It's
gotta
called-
find it.
It's called G8.
G8,
Item 48.
amend the
on your
general
list.
bylaw to eliminate the golf revolving fund, accept and adopt 8-0.
Yep, that's what I had.
So we're accept and adopt instead of indefinitely postpone. So that's another one she has.
Okay.
Okay? All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. There's a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody wants to stay? Stay behind. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you very